Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Ms. Porter, guess what we have here? We have a flushometer. Now, I guess this flushometer was, let's see, I guess it was running water and it wouldn't stop. Let's see if I can get a better image of this. I guess that's good enough right there. So this flush, I guess it's working now. But when I opened it up earlier, the diaphragm was, the metal pieces were all coming apart. So let's, first things first, shut off the water, because you can't work with it with the water being on. So the first thing you're going to do is, sometimes there's a cap here. This one doesn't have a cap. It just needs to be cleaned up. Sometimes there's a cap here. You need a pliers or a wrench to take off that little cap. But there's no cap, so we're just going to shut the water off. Just turn this and we flush it just to make sure that the water is off. No water going. That's a good thing. Next step, we're going to take off this little cover right here. Get your channel locks. Some people say don't use channel locks because you mess up the flat edge in this. You should use like an adjustable wrench with flat surface. But this one's already been wrenched on so many freaking times. Or if you don't want damage, you can always put like a cloth or something around it. So typically you should use a flat surface. You don't want nothing with teeth on it, but I'm using with teeth today because this is already, you kind of gently do this so you don't damage nothing else. So you want to kind of hold this while you're turning that at the same time. And let's see what we got in here. I'm gonna keep that. Just gonna keep this cap because this cap is gonna be used for your next water debris, and that's from the rubber. All that. That's extra rubber pieces, and I don't know if you guys can see that. That's all that. Just kind of clean that out. Get most of that out of there. Just get a piece of paper and just kind of wipe it out a little bit. Now this piece here, this little diaphragm, this is what I noticed was real bad when I looked at it. There was a metal piece that was stuck in here that kept it flushing. So if your hand's gonna get dirty. So if you don't like your hands getting dirty, they will. You see, wow, see how this is all coming apart? That's done. Let me show you what I'm talking about. See, can you see that? See all those metal things that are kind of falling off? They're supposed to be all around, but they're falling off. These things here, I take one off so you can see what I'm talking about. These typically shouldn't be that loose to fall off like that. It's missing a couple of them already. Wow. That's not supposed to even come apart either like that. This is supposed to be all one piece. So that's all coming apart. That's bad. I mean, I've been sitting there for a while. This is probably still good, but I got the whole replacement kit here. Got one of those, and this is a Zern, but Zern and Saloon are pretty much compatible. Most of the Zern parts I see are compatible with Saloon parts, and I'm too sure who came out with it first. I always seen Saloon. Saloon been around for years, so I want to say that Zern copies Saloon, or they got some kind of patent agreement with them. But we got a Zern diaphragm kit. That's what that is. This is for the closet. They got different ones for the urinal, so make sure you get the right one. This one's for the closet. I can't know if you guys can read all that, but cost about $23 to $25. Zerm. They make good stuff too. They make a lot of. So this is how it looks, just like that. Just all assembly, all in one. See that? All in one. See that? Even it's more sturdy on the front. There's no metal pieces up here. See that? No more metal. What you call it? That's not even there. Maybe this one might be better than the other ones. Now the next thing you want to make sure there's no debris up in this thing. As long as there's no debris in there, just get your flashlight. Kind of look down in there, make sure there's nothing that's gonna clog it up. Looks pretty decent. Let's stick this bad boy on top. Just drop it in as the way you see it. The same exact way you see it. Just drop the entire assembly in just like that. Make sure it sits in there. Don't forget to put your cap back on. Very important. Make sure it's snugged in there. And this thing right here, you just kind of snug it. You don't have to over tighten it because the gasket is going to do all the work. So your job is just to turn it. If you can't turn it no more with your hand, get your little wrench and just snug it. That should be good enough right there. Now, I'm going to turn the water on and see what happens. You see a little water come out of there. I might just snug it a little bit more. Just snug it just a tad bit. You don't want to over tighten it, but I see just a little grippage. So when I flush it, let's see what's going on. Still running. That's a long flush though. Maybe that's the way it always was. It seems like it's a long flush. But let's try it again. Let's try it again. Throw that inside the trash. I don't need that anymore. Let's keep it. Maybe that's the way it flushes. Usually they have more power. So maybe the pressure could be low too. Let's see what we got going on here. Let's make sure the valve is all the way opened up. Because usually the ones I'm used to, they have a good, solid, powerful flush. And that's open all the way. You don't want to go too far because then you pull it off the sleeve. I guess that's the way that flushes. Okay, so maybe that's just the way it flushes. I recommend cleaning up all this stuff. I'm gonna snug that just so I don't want to over tighten this thing because you shouldn't have to do that. It just has like a little, it's not a lot of water, just a little bit, but let's see what we got here. This thing really needs to be rebuilt. It needs a lot. Where's that water coming from? Let's see if I can identify where that. It could be coming from somewhere else other than. It's coming from. Something's coming from here. The shut-off valve. See, sometimes when stuff is old like this, you're supposed to just replace it. If you see water coming down here, if it's seam down here, so that's a fitting. It could be a gasket that needs to be replaced. Not a lot of water. Let me tighten that up down there. That means I'm gonna end up have to take this whole thing apart and probably buy more parts for it, which I don't plan on doing right now. Sometimes you touch it too much, you own it. Let's see if we can just. I don't really want to touch that because if I turn this too much, I'm gonna end up loosening up something else. So you know what? We'll leave it. I think I'm gonna have to end up coming back and changing a lot of parts on this. Let's try this. Let's try one thing and see if this does make a difference. It's a little water coming out of it, not a lot, but I think what's going to end up happening is it's supposed to be like rubber washers that go inside some of these areas, probably down here too. I might have to, when I get the right parts, take that apart and rebuild it. This looks like this might have been leaking before. And this is kind of snug, see? I don't think it's... The worst case scenario, I could throw some Teflon on there. Which, maybe I can do that. Throw some Teflon around this, because it is water coming around this edge right here. Maybe, you're not supposed to put Teflon on there. Let's throw some Teflon on it. That way they don't have that leakage coming out like that. Because let's do that. Let's throw some. The water's off before the water's off before you open that, because if not, you're gonna have a lot of water coming at you. Let me hit it. There we go. All right, let me take this off. Put a little Teflon tape on it, because I do see a lot of water coming around the top of that. Let's see here. Ready? Go. Maybe a couple of spins of, can't hurt to do a couple of, this cap not supposed to stick inside like that either. This cap shouldn't stick, cap is supposed to stay more on top of this than anything else. I was going to do a little thing of Teflon tape around there. Just a little bit, maybe two wraps of Teflon tape, and we'll see how that works out. I'm really not trying to get into taking that thing apart, not on a Saturday afternoon. I have some Teflon tape here. Now I'm trying to find out where the beginning starts, which is weird. like I could use my trusty screwdriver just to dig the. Do I have to really pull this thing out to get to it? I think see, let me make sure this thing's all the way off too, because it seems like it's still dripping water. Oh, you got a faulty shut off too. This thing has to be over 20 years old, so it's probably due for a new one. Let's see what happens when I pull this from here. It's just gonna give me a. I guess this could be it. We'll try wrapping this Teflon tape around and see what it does. Just enough to catch that little. That should be enough to keep the water from passing through anyway, so we can get down here and do it the right way. Let's see. Okay. I see what's going on. So this Teflon tape has been kind of spooled out in different ways, but it still works. I got a better one in the car, but this will do for the time being. I see what's going on. So let's put this back on here, and hopefully there's less water passing through there. Let's see what we got here. Kind of hold it while you turn it. There you go. Let's open this bad boy up. And ship that off. I'll call that person back in a second. Alright. 1, 2 for moment of truth. No water dripping, so that's a good thing. It's a great thing. And we'll deal with that the rest of this some other time. As long as my hands come out dry when I wrap my hands around it, that's all I care about. If my hands come out wet, I think there's a small leak down here, but we're not going to get into that today. Alright guys, basically want to show you how to change the diaphragm, guys. So, and sometimes when you come across these things, you're going to need more than just a diaphragm. Sometimes you might need the whole valve, the valve body. Those are kind of expensive. They could run up from $300 to $500 depending on which one you get. So just be prepared for that. We just changed out in diaphragm for I call it Salone, but now you can call it Zern, but that's actually a Salone flush valve. Catch you guys in the next one.